All right. We have a pretty full plate, so we will get started. It is 9 o'clock. I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Retirement of LACERA. And Bonnie, would you take it away with the announcements and roll call?
Great. So this meeting is being held as a virtual meeting. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and do a roll call of the trustees. Mr. Pryor,
I'm here.
Mr. Knox,
Morning, I'm here.
Ms. Gray,
Good morning.
good morning. Mr. Santos,
Buongiorno.
Mr. Oakham, Mr. Moore,
I'm here.
Mr. Kehoe,
Present.
Mr. Robbins.
Here.
Mr. Harris will not be joining us today. Ms. Zapanta, and Chair Bernstein. And Chair Bernstein is here. As staff Staff participating in the meeting include the CEO, Santos Kryman, Interim Chief Counsel, Johanna Fontenot, AEO, JJ Popovich, Principal Investment Officer, Jude Perez, Senior Staff Counsel, Frank Boyd. Disability Retirement Services team include Ricky Contreras, Tamara Caldwell, Hernan Barrientos, Vicky Neely, Carrie Wilson, Ricardo Salinas, Barbara Tunke, Amabel Dillon, Darren Huey, Maria Mudo, Anna Kwan, and Maria Patty Silva. The disability litigation team include Vincent Lim, Eugenia Durr, Allison Barrett, and Jason Waller. Trustees, if you have a comment or question on any item, please use the Zoom chat feature to be placed in the queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute their mic until you are ready to speak, and we may now proceed with the agenda.
Bonnie, thank you very much. We are on to item 2, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 11th. Can I get a motion, please?
Keith, I'll move.
Second. That was moved by Mr. Knox. I think it was seconded by Mr. Kehoe.
Correct.
We will be taking all our votes by roll call. So Bonnie, could you please take the roll call?
Yes, Mr. Knox.
Aye.
Ms. Gray.
Aye.
Mr. Santos.
Aye.
Mr. Oakham. Mr. Moore.
Aye.
Mr. Kehoe.
Aye.
Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Ms. Zapanta. Not here. Chair Bernstein.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Thank you very much. I am not aware of any requests from the public to speak. Bonnie, have any come in?
No.
Then we will move over item 3 and on to item 4, which is our CEO update. Mr. Kryman, take it away.
Yes, hi. Thank you, Chair Bernstein, and good morning, trustees. In terms of a report, I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that we continue to process probably about a dozen or so applications to get the newly retired county employees onto our payroll. So we have about a dozen that are still need to be confirmed, and they'll be on in time for their warrant check to come in, their first pension payment. So right now, the big effort for us is in retiree healthcare, trying to get everybody on board in terms of their healthcare. I know that Cassandra and her team are busy trying to get everything processed, and we appreciate all of her and her staff, as well as my member services and benefits staff, for all their hard work through March Madness. So I did want to recognize them. In terms of the Deputy Chief Executive Officer recruitment, we do have final interviews scheduled for the final candidates. That will be at the end of the month, and hopefully we'll have a selection by the next board of retirement meeting early in May. So that is my my update. Be more than happy to stand for questions.
I have no one in the queue, but are there any questions for our CEO? Santos, thank you very much for that report. We appreciate the update. Very good. We are on now to disability retirement applications on consent calendar. This is item 5 on our agenda. To start, we have consent applications for safety, SED. There was a request to pull application 428D, so we will be discussing that later in closed session. But I would entertain a motion to approve items 42060 to 42070 and 429D to 450D.
Sean, I'll go ahead and move them.
Second.
Who is the second?
Mr.
Pryor,
Pryor.
second.
Okay, so moved by Mr. Keogh and seconded by Mr. Pryor. Bonnie, could you please take the roll call?
Mr. Knox.
Aye.
Ms. Gray.
Aye.
Mr. Santos.
Yes.
Mr. Moore. I'll come back to you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Kehoe.
Aye.
Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, going back to Mr. Moore.
It's an aye for me.
Thank you very much. And Chair Bernstein.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees.
Okay. We now have consent applications for safety SED for fire and lifeguards. This is application 1340B to 1348B.
Motion, Pryor. Second.
Moved by Pryor, seconded by Santos. Bonnie, could you take the roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Pryor.
Aye.
Mr. Knox.
Aye.
Ms. Gray.
Aye.
Mr. Santos.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Chair Bernstein.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Thank you. Now we have consent applications for SED for general members. This is applications 2193C through 2211C.
Move approval. Second.
Moved by Santos, seconded by Moore. Bonnie, could we please take a roll call?
Mr. Knox.
Aye.
Ms. Gray.
Yes.
Mr. Santos.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe.
Aye.
Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Chair Bernstein.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Thank you. And finally, we have a general member NSCD application 4402 on consent. I would take a motion.
Move approval. Second.
Moved by Santos, seconded by Moore. Bonnie, a roll call, please.
Mr. Knox.
Aye.
Ms. Gray.
Yes.
Mr. Santos.
Aye.
Mr. Moore.
Aye.
Mr. Kehoe.
Aye.
Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Chair Bernstein.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Great. That concludes consent applications. We'll come back to the other applications in a little bit, but now we're on to item 6, a consent item submitted by Ricky Contreras that the board grant the appeal and request for an administrative hearing for applicants Sylvia DeHarce and Ernie Barbosa. There's a memo dated April 1st, 2021.
Move approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Can we please get a roll call?
Yes, Mr. Knox.
Aye.
Ms. Gray.
Aye.
Mr. Santos.
Aye.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe.
Aye.
Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Chair Bernstein.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously by all trustees present.
Great. We're on to item 7, a report again from Ricky regarding application processing time. It's FYI. Are there any questions? I see Ricky's here if there are. Thank you for the excellent report. We will move on to items for staff review, Bonnie.
There are no items to report today.
Thank you very much. We're now on to good of the order. We are moving at a nice clip. It is 9:08. Bonnie, would you please call the roll call and the key staff for good of the order?
Correct. Mr. Pryor.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Knox.
Morning. After a 5-hour BOI meeting yesterday, I'm talked out, so thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Santos.
Yes, thank you. Hopefully what I'm going to say is not controversial, but I'm going to throw it out there. I was wondering if we should at some point either discuss or evaluate, however we want to call it, the possibility of having at least one committee meeting at whatever time is not at 8. From my perspective, it gives me more a full day. But judging from yesterday, although we started in the BOI at 8 a.m., I was pretty burned out by, I think we ended at 2 p.m. if I remember correctly. But anyway, it's something for us to think about, and it's not something that I'm dying to do, but I think it probably will be more efficient if we can do at least one committee meeting at 8 a.m. That's my suggestion. Other than that, everybody have a beautiful day.
Thank you. And I will also add that to the items for staff review for today. Mr. Oakham. No, he's not participating. Mr. Moore?
Mr. Moore, you're muted.
Okay. Yesterday, I think the Board of Investment had a presentation on free speech rights and fiduciary duties. So are we going to have the same presentation for the Board of Retirement?
In May.
Okay, thanks. Everything else is good.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Keogh?
I have nothing. Thank you.
Mr. Robbins?
Yeah, Mr. Moore, the Board of Retirement has had that session in the past because of issues that came up with our board. So it wouldn't be this won't be the first time we've ever had it. I want to give a shout out to Ted Granger also. The information last week at our board meeting about the COLA calculation thing that was discovered that goes back 20 years ago, I found rather confusing. And I didn't quite understand the impact that it was going to have on the Plan A people. So he was able to clarify all of that information for me. And I just wanted to, took a phone call and a couple of emails, and I know JJ was involved in it as well, but I get it now, but trying to impart that into the retirees is probably about tantamount to trying to climb Mount Everest in a pair of tennis shoes. So a lot of them just don't get it. So anyway, but it's done. So, and I just wanted to say thanks for that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Robbins. Ms. Gray?
I have nothing.
Thank you. Ms. Johanna Fontenot? I'll come back to you. JJ?
Nothing, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Santos?
Nothing for me.
Thank you. And going back to Johanna?
Yeah, thank you, Bonnie. No, I have nothing.
Thank you. And Chair Bernstein?
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Happy to continue moving this along at a good clip. We did have a fairly lengthy discussion about the First Amendment hearing, and because of SACRS, we are consolidated next month to one meeting. So I just want to give people an advance heads up. It is likely to be a fairly long day for us next month. We should be prepared for that. And Mr. Santos's suggestion is a good one. So I look forward to hearing staff's update on the possibility of front loading a bit some of our committees. I also just want to thank Ms. Fontenot for stepping in this interim way in such an able way, and express my gratitude that Mr. Rice, who is on leave, seems to be doing well. With that, we will now move into closed session for disability retirement cases. So if everyone can hold tight, staff will rearrange the Zoom room so we can proceed with that.